aha, aha, aha. Oh, no, the intonation was wrong. It's harder than it looks. Steve Coogan makes it look so easy.
Identify yourself!
Alan.
There's footage.
Alan! I'm Alan Partridge. Not been off the TV that long. Identify yourself.
Hi, I'm Robbie, and I've just seen Alan Partridge Alpha Papa. Now, this is the Alan Partridge film that has been discussed, I think, for about 10 years now. Armando Iannucci and Steve Coogan have been talking about doing a feature-length Partridge for a long time. I think at one stage it was going to be a story about Alan trying to crack America. They've not gone down that route. Instead, they've kept the story very avowedly English and avowedly East Anglia based. But what they have done is they've upped the scale. This is a story that's much bigger and brasher than would appear in an Alan Partridge TV episode or one of the web series that Coogan's been doing recently. For me, that's where the film really falls down.
Alan, we've been taken over.
So, Pat, no one's getting sacked. Just sack Pat.
So we start at Norfolk Digital, where Alan still has his Mid-Morning Matters radio show, and what happens is a new company moves in, buys out the station and gets rid of one of the old DJs, who becomes very upset by this and turns up with a shotgun and takes a lot of people hostage.
Hello? Pat?
And Alan becomes this kind of spur-of-the-moment negotiator on behalf of the police. He starts broadcasting from inside the siege and becomes a bit of a local hero.
You are the face of this siege.
I am Siege Face.
He's broadcasting from the siege.
Keep it light.
OK, tonight we'll be asking, have you ever met a genuinely clever bus driver? Oh, shit.
So this, for me, is where the film falls down, because for me, Alan Partridge falls into this very British comedic tradition of characters like Charles Pooter and Bertie Wooster and David Brent. These are characters who are funniest when they're in a position of weakness. And Partridge's entire career has been about diminishment and about failure. You know, he started out with that chat show and then moved to, of course, the series set in the Travel Lodge, and then he moved to local radio and then to digital radio. So it's all been a constant kind of shrinking of his influence. And because this film suddenly gives him a lot of influence and makes him very important, the comic potency of that whole situation is lost. If you think about Captain Mannering, for example, another very funny British character in a similar vein, he's in charge of the Wilmington-on-Sea Home Guard. Now, if you imagine him on the front line of the Second World War, the situation would be completely different, the dynamic would be disrupted, and it just wouldn't be anywhere nearly as funny. So that's the problem that I think they've run into here by trying to make Partridge somehow important and exciting.
As the hostage crisis escalates, Alan Partridge has become the chief negotiator.
You've got to be more concise. What do you want? You know, I want a helicopter. That's just an example, by the way. OK, he wants a helicopter.
I thought it was very funny up until the actual siege plotline kicks in. You know, seeing Coogan do all his Partridge stuff, and Tim Key is really particularly good as Sidekick Simon, who's a wonderful, wonderful creation from the Norfolk Digital shorts that they did before. He returns, of course, and there's characters from the series who also return.
What has happened to your hair? I take no pleasure in saying this, but a lot of people think it looks like a photograph of an explosion.
That part of the film works really well, and if you go to see an Alan Partridge film only to come out with 10 new catchphrases that you can quote to people, then Alpha Papa will provide those catchphrases. You know, they are there, and so you will get your money's worth if that's all you want. What I don't think the film does successfully at all is translate the Partridge character onto the big screen, perhaps because they've gone to such great lengths to try and translate it.
There's only one person Pat he's willing to talk to. You.
Cool.
Will you help us?
Guys, none of us choose the hand we're dealt.
We do need an answer, I'm afraid.
Why do you have another siege to go to?
If they'd been bolder and said, you know what, Partridge works because he is this bumbling idiot, and he's at his funniest when he's just trying to scrape together a TV series or a radio show. He doesn't have to be doing anything more exciting than that in order to function. Then perhaps the film would have worked slightly better.
I should be at home in bed watching funny videos on YouTube.
Have you seen Fat Woman Falls Down Hole?
That should be fenced off, really, but I'm glad it wasn't.
So for me, this isn't a thumbs down, but it's certainly a qualified thumbs up. I think if you heavily moderate your expectations southwards, particularly if you're a Partridge fan, you'll get something out of this film. But for me, it smacks slightly of a missed opportunity.
I'm not retreating. Pat's tugging me off. Now, come on, we're better than that.
So one of the issues that Alan Partridge Alpha Papa throws up is this business of translating a sitcom, a successful sitcom, to a feature-length format. So, you know, tell me, what sitcoms do you think have successfully made that transition? You know, we had the Inbetweeners movie a few years ago, In the Loop as well. So tell me in the comment box below which of those ones you think did make the jump correctly, and also, you know, click like, click subscribe, and keep coming back here for more First Look reviews in future.
A lot of people think it looks like a photograph of an explosion.